Like, it really, really is. It's just, you can't really find it anywhere. There's like a few, very, very few places. There might be like one restaurant in each city, but there isn't a pho place here, which is really sad because I do rather like pho. All right, well, our first match of the day, well, the only match that we're going to cast today, our first maps of the day for us, are going to be coming up here, and we do have Trap in the bottom right-hand side, taking on INnoVation in the upper left-hand corner, as we get this one up and ready to rumble. Fun series. Definitely think that the overall setup of this series is very interesting. Obviously, competition between two of the heavy hitter teams. Kaizi, by the way, have a really rough run down the home straight of this event. They have to play Alpha X, then they have to play Liquid, then they have to play Dragon Phoenix Gaming. But the same is true for Afreeca Freecs. They have to play Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Team NV, as well as Team GP. A lot of like the big matchups, like the big, juicy, like, you know, top dog matchups have been kind of kept until these last couple of weeks. And so a lot of these top teams that have been kind of just racking up the points and safely sitting top 4 are now really about to do battle and like fight it out to see who is going to play against who, who's really going to get to the top spots, where everyone is going to line up for, or line up at, for the playoffs. So we've been, yeah, definitely seeing a lot of that kind of stuff, which has been kind of cool to see that we're going to see all these games now come around. I'm kind of excited for it at the very least, so it's I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna see the couple of SCVs gonna chase a probe out. There's a Marine on the way out as well, just getting things started up over here. Pho is pronounced like pho. Pho. Done some pho. I know, I can't pronounce it. I've heard someone pronounce it properly before. I feel like if I say pho, people more understand what I mean than if I say pho. Pho. Especially in, I guess this is also like an England thing, because, you know, this is obviously very, very sad, but like, people in England aren't very cultured a lot of the time, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I can speak for this firsthand. So when you try and explain it to somebody else in England, they'll probably be like, they might understand you if you say it very simply. But if you say it that's what I think anyways. Maybe that's an unfair assessment, maybe that ain't true, but that's how I feel it is. Yeah, I know it's a bit different for sure. Anyways, enough for more Starcraft as INnoVation and Trap gets going. So yeah, like I'm saying, this is a pretty fun series overall. You get INnoVation, Trap, Armani versus Time, and then Solar versus TY. TY, who has not been in the best shape lately, seems to be just be racking up losses as he heads towards the military. And then you've got Armani, who probably can put in some work against Time from the Afreeca Freecs. And it kind of feels like this series is very important then for Trap. Just because, usually I wouldn't be so worried, but just because TY hasn't been looking so hot lately, I think it's important that Trap maybe gets himself the 2 points here today. Or the 2-0 today. And it's just going to be seeing our probe continuing around. Depth is going to move back down the bottom right. A couple of Hellions joined together. And Medevac is on the way out as well. So a couple of these gateways continue to come on through as we get this ready to go. I was going to see a few Hellions moving around. All these usual bits and pieces for the moment. Again, nothing overly crazy, to be honest with you. Just going to see 3 probes going down at the moment, and I guess so far kind of so good. As we are going to make our way over this side. And that's going to be 7 probes now going down. INnoVation getting a lot of damage done here with these first few Hellions. And Trap not really meant to let that much have happened, so not a bad start as INnoVation flies an empty medevac out down the map. We'll see what the plan is with the medevac, but obviously sneaking through and getting these initial kills. Great setup for a Terran player here, and exactly what you're looking for if you're cheering on the Kaizi Gaming squad today. Empty medevac just trying to bait units out of the way, right? There's nothing in it right now. There's nothing you can really do, but it's just trying to get units to reposition, and maybe that Helps a bit earlier, makes Trap afraid of going out onto the map to try and take advantage of Blink and so on. Let's just see an INnoVation. Starting up Stimpack, our observer seemed quite determined to show us that he hadn't started it yet, but I don't think that was a major issue. Seemed like something he was just going to get around to eventually, which he did. This observer's just going to be flying on up into the main base here in a moment or two then. So, observer up into the main, just getting a bit of a scout of what's going on. Obviously, you want to try and stay away from Marines, though, just in case he spots that observer. You'd like to keep it alive and not get it scanned down ASAP. So, Trap just with a little bit of cautious movement on this observer. Otherwise, again, everything looking pretty decent over here. And sure up that Templar Archive is down. And just going to see the few Stalkers continue to make their way around the top side of the map now. So, again, up to the top we go. Moving these Stalkers through. A lot of them gathered up together here, and just going to be seeing our Marines in that medevac making their way all the way around the top. Again, Stim, Combat Shield, and that +1 attack upgrade all coming through at the moment, so let's continue to get all of this up and running. Ready for this next attack, right? And after you've killed a few probes early in the game, these attacks are always terrifying. I mean, 51 to 20 army supply at the moment. INnoVation has a massive units in comparison to what Trap's working with, and Trap is going to go into that Storm upgrade, so he is going to make his way through in towards Storm, and he is going to be looking for that as his kind of defense here. But Storm, there's a reason a lot of people don't open Storm. Now, we obviously saw that change a little bit with Zest. He's really been opening up these styles, and Trap as well, to be fair, has also been a big reason these styles have kind of become popular. But especially after taking damage early, I just don't know if you can ever really go for them properly, because you just don't have the units here, and you just don't have Storm on time. And what can you do to buy time in this scenario? You don't really have anything to buy time with, and, well, you can just see Trap is collapsing on both fronts at the moment. Batteries going down on this side, probes going down the right side, and INnoVation is going to pick up map number 1 as Trap just can't quite get off to a good enough start. So my Xbox arrived today, and we will do the bounty tomorrow. Great investment, right? How ridiculous is that? Alright, let's get into game number 2. We jump into the bottom left with INnoVation. In the top right, we just saw Trap as we get this one underway, started up, and ready to party. Yeah. You guys like the X? I mean, it makes sense though, right, guys? If I make more money than the Xbox costs, it's just an investment, because then I have an Xbox in case another one pops up for Xbox in the future. I can return the Xbox after. I actually thought about that as well. I did think about it, but I think it's worth keeping just for, it's worth keeping just for, just in case something else pops up in the future, right? I agree, it's kind of ridiculous, but makes sense. So yeah, make sure you watch tomorrow so I actually do make the money back, otherwise I'm going to feel like a fool. Alrighty, we are getting ourselves off and away in this one. Getting this all set up. Jagannatha, Trap's map pick, and INnoVation proxies racks down the bottom right-hand side. Not too out of the ordinary, honestly. Yeah, in general here, this is obviously a matchup where we have these proxies happen quite a bit. And like I say, this one's going to be a little bit more tech-heavy, though. It's actually going to be a factory as well, so everything is being proxied over here. So this one's a little bit more committed than what you might usually see. So that's definitely kind of interesting, kind of exciting. I like it, actually. I think this could be pretty cool. I'm excited to see what comes out of it, to be honest. Obviously, stuff like... we'll see what builds on the factory, because obviously you can reactor off the factory, like some units, or you can... What's the point of the proxy then if you're just going to react to the factory without a starport, is what I'm about to say. You know, it basically has to have the starport, otherwise it doesn't make sense, as Trap is going to send a Zealot out. He's obviously a bit concerned as to what is going on here. He hasn't quite, obviously, been able to figure it out just yet. I was going to see these couple Widow Mines building, Starport about to finish up. And an Armory going to start as well. So it's going to be Cloaked Widow Mine, Proxy Cloaked Widow Mine drops. I mean, this is really just something special, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's, this is really just something. He's seen the factory, so Trap now sees the factory as the first two Hellions are running by into the main base, though. So, okay, one of them already went down. He will get the shot off for two more. So he actually target fire specifically get those two instead of the one that was closer. So got a little bit of micro from INnoVation. Now we start a robo as I think Trap realizes what the follow-up potential is here. One medevac, and is that it? Is this really worth proxying for? Is this really worth proxying for? I mean, you've got to fly all of these units back home, or all of these structures back home now. I don't know how much I like it for INnoVation, but let's see. Remember, he's obviously just on one base as well. He is not on a second base for now. First Widow Mine going to cover the ramps. It's going to stop the reinforcements coming down. And if Trap didn't realize that, the probes up the ramp, yeah, running away, going to get hit there. Robo Facility ain't ready yet, so it definitely is causing some issues, these Widow Mines having that cloaking. So it's causing some issues. It is definitely being a problem. But two of the Widow Mines down, and now these Stalkers obviously trying to block the Widow Mines from dropping. And now Hellions are showing up once again, and INnoVation just lines up the shots on these guys and just let them do their work as the Widow Mine's going to start burrowing up. Oh, he gets a connection. He gets a whole chunk of probes. And he gets a little bit more at the end here as well. Our Observer is out. Widow Mines will start to die, but my goodness, this definitely started to do a bit more damage than I think we initially expected. INnoVation. What a start, actually. I mean, still got to remember, Command Center for the Natural is only halfway built, so he needed to do damage here, and he obviously absolutely has done. He leads by about 11 workers, so he's in a really good eco position. Which, again, you kind of absolutely needed to get into after all of this. Because otherwise you would have been in a lot of trouble, right? So, doing a couple of things right over here so far. I was just going to see this medevac going to boost back on over. Just going to sit here, get repaired up by these SCVs. And observing a few Stalkers, they're going to pull their way back around. Sitting in the center here for the moment, just sitting on that Nexus. And Marines join up together, tank there too, Orbital Command going to lift off, and we're just going to make our way to the Natural. Raven's coming out, and INnoVation is just slowly building up his tech now, obviously with the tank production, the Raven on the way through. Again, all the tools he'll need to really close this game out from the advantage he's created with this proxy. Of course, like I say, you know, now it's still an advantage for him. You can see the worker count 33 versus 32. It's meant to be better than that for Trap at this stage of a PvT, so he absolutely does have an advantage coming out of this. He absolutely has taken a lead. And for now, he absolutely will kind of roll with it, I suppose. So, I guess we'll keep an eye out for that as I'm going to pick off an Observer. Taking that down nice and quickly. That's going to be seeing Gravitic Drive coming up. That Disruptor still getting set up as well. Looking to be brought into play in the near future, perhaps. With the Gravitic Drive, we're going to see some Disruptor drop action, which is always, in my eyes, a bit of fun as well. It's fun in my eyes when I'm not the Terran player in the situation. I have some bad memories of being Disruptor dropped. Neeb really bullied me at a DreamHack one time. I was so hyped I made round of 64 DreamHack, and Neeb then decided to bully me with Disruptor drops for the next 20 minutes. It wasn't pretty. In a way, it was nice, because if he did anything else, I probably would have died even faster, but, you know, it's also not fun trying to do anything, you know, you're trying to nervously do your build, you're trying to get into your game, you know, your mind into your game plan, and every 20 seconds there's a Disruptor in your face, blowing up your units, and you're too bad to deal with it. It such a feels bad. Anyways, I'm not salty, I promise. As I see this Prism still moving around, Marine up to the top. He's going to come chasing through. He's going to look to kill off that probe, perhaps. So the probe is going to go down. And here comes the medevac in the back. Of course, INnoVation, just some light pressure with these initial few drops. some cute... Oh my, INnoVation! Playing with my Terran heart right here, those little marine pickups. Overly fancy for no reason other than just delaying how long it takes to clean up that drop, and hence maybe giving him more time to get set up around this left-hand side for the third base. So it may not seem essential or necessary, but it does give you position on this third, and Trap is nowhere near where he needs to be. I haven't even seen these disruptors fire a shot yet, so they're completely out of position. As Trap loses out on this third base, INnoVation is looking freaking good right now at the start of this TVP for the best of 7 in this team matchup. He's going to see the Colossus. You know what he's going to do to that. Interference Matrix. He actually has the energy for another Matrix as well, which I'm sure he will pop if he gets the chance. He will lose one of the 2 tanks to the Disruptors. He already killed the Colossus, though. Trap realizes he took too much damage early in the game. The damage early on, I was skeptical if it was going to get... But my parents just had their second shot like a week and a half ago. Like a week, 2 weeks ago, so... My parents got their first shot, I guess, like 5 weeks ago. So yeah, I guess it's been coming out for a while. They've got the colors the wrong way around on the bottom at the moment, but that's okay. The bottom left is Armani, the top right is Time, as Time has the chance to just close the series out for Kaizi Gaming. A 2-0 here would just win it for them against the Afreeca Freecs. See if they can do that. What's the banana bread vlog? Well, we had some memes about it, banana bread one day. I can't even remember what started. I think people were complaining about us not discussing the game. And I went on a rant and it ended up in banana bread. And I read out a banana bread recipe. So, yeah, I read out the banana bread recipe and then we promised a banana bread vlog. But because I'm moving house, we've not exactly been like, you know, just cranking out banana bread. So once we move... We'll get some banana bread vlog going. I have no idea where, how, why, but it will happen, I promise you guys. Really nothing exciting unless you're in on the meme, really. Can't wait for it. I'm glad you guys are excited. Moving again? Nope, no, I haven't moved the first time. I've been talking about moving for a while. We got the house in February, but it needed a bunch of stuff doing to it, so I've just been getting stuff done, or we've just been getting stuff done to the house. So we've been waiting to... We had it decorated, we had a wall taken down, we had a room gutted and rebuilt, and yeah, we just had a bunch of stuff done to it, so we just haven't moved yet. I still have my apartment, so there was no point moving before everything's ready, you know, if I can still just live here and work from here. Especially because it's not like I could, like, live in the house if it's not ready, because then I have to work from home, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I'm moving this Friday. So, this Friday, we move. I won't be here Friday, Saturday. Hopefully, we'll go live on Sunday with World Team League. And then you guys will not hear about me moving anymore until I have to explain why the room looks different to people day in and day out. Yeah, actually moving on Friday. Actually moving on Friday. Hopefully. Well, I say hopefully. Absolutely moving on Friday. So, yeah. Reaper coming around. Link's having a bit of a dance with Mr. Reaper here. It's a little bit of fun being had to start off with. Reaper taking a few more shots. He gets pushed away. Make a house tour. I mean, what do you want to see in the house tour? The thing is, it's like still gonna be missing some stuff. Like our table and chairs don't arrive for like another 6 weeks. Our sofas don't arrive for like another 5 or 6 weeks or something. And we're still gonna be missing some stuff. Like it's gonna be like parts of the house are stuff gonna have stuff in. Other parts of the house are not gonna have stuff in. So yeah, kind of a. Oh, that Reaper does not get the creep team, and that's unfortunate. Yeah. I don't know whether to do a house tour right away or have to maybe wait a little while. I'll give you guys a bit of a tour, I guess. I can probably do a tour live on stream. I think I did this when I first moved in here. I'll just like share my phone screen to my stream, to my desktop, and then just stream that, and I'll just take you around on my phone. Or something. It's not that exciting though, it's just a house, you know? It's not that thrilling. Roadrunner and Allow on the way up here from Armani as Time gets into the Banshee and the Cloak, so we are going to see a bit of a different approach here from Time, going with the Cloak Banshee, something you don't see all of the time. Again, someone that likes to play Roach styles, though, generally pretty good. And Armani has generally been a bit more of an aggressive player throughout his entire Starcraft career, really, so... yeah, kind of cool to see Armani kind of getting a little bit aggressive, but not really expecting him to... I don't know, don't think he's just going to cheese you and be aggressive, though. Like, these Roach styles we've seen lately have been a way to obviously transition into later games and all sorts of other stuff as well, so... Overlord speed coming up as we go into this lair, and I wonder if that has anything kind of planned around, if we're going to see some Dropper Lords or something. Armani's making a chunk of lings right now at 42 drones. Roach Roar on finish, but not really the gas to build a lot of Roaches just yet. We'll get a spawn each mineral line. He seems to have figured out the Banshees, or was expecting those in the near future, which is pretty much time for. And there's the 7 Roaches coming up as well, so... yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Armani's still only 39 drones, so it does look as though he might just, like, whack some Queens and Overlords and, like, a Dropper Lord and just go across the map. I mean, there's the Dropper Lord morphing in. Or is that one just next to the bottom side of the Terran's main? Because that might just be for a Ling little load. Oh, no, it's over here. Okay, so the Dropper Lord, he's going to bring Queens with this, and he's just going to go. So, yeah, it is going to be aggression from Armani. Time with the more defensive setup, the later third base is absolutely sort of... you know, doing the right thing here as well. Definitely is setting himself up in the best case scenario for actually being able to defend and hold off against this. These feelings are going to start going down. So feelings getting picked off there right away. A few Ravages morphed in, there's a few Zerglings coming up. And we just continue with this as we get ready to rumble. Here comes our attack from Armani. Big one. Wants to win this map, give Afreeca Freecs a point on the board, and to get this underway. The Debo's just lowered. Well, you know what's crazy about that? It's not even super terrible right away, because fighting all of those Zerglings actually went pretty well for Time. Problem is now the Roach Ravager can come through. We are not far away from Stim. That is 10 seconds or less, really. It's not 10 real seconds, it's 10 Blizzard seconds, because the Game Heart UI is still out of date in that regard. As you can see, our Ravagers coming through, and they are going to take down these couple of depots. So depots taking some hits. Ravagers continue to drop, and Marines are going to stim on forward, and they are going to get rid of a couple of these Queens. Like I say, with the stim being done, it just felt like this timing from Armani just was not there at all, and this did not work out. GG's. Time is going to be able to pick up the first game, and that's going to put Kaizi Gaming on a 3-0 lead against the Afreeca Freecs. The last few results especially just seem like he's not quite got him right now. Isn't DRG in Afreeca? Nope, DRG is in Team NV. Afreeca will need a replacement for TY, and I believe that's going to be Keen. Keen just got picked up by them. He actually used to be on Afreeca, so Afreeca taking a bit of a downgrade in their roster. They really started out the league as, like, beasts. You know, you have Stats, TY, Armani, and Trap. Now, Trap, Armani, Keen just doesn't quite sound as strong, does it? No offense to Keen, but, you know, he's just returned from the military, and he's doing decently, just, you know, decently enough to fill the shoes of Stats/TY. Well, that's a big ask. That's a huge ask. No big tournament left to play from. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I totally get it. Like, I 100% understand why you would be, you know, not looking as good, or maybe not as motivated. I just also felt that he, was, I don't know. I feel like he just didn't do as well in Super Tournament as I thought he would. Is Gumiho coming back to SC2? We'll probably find out soon. Hero is coming back. He's not been practicing yet because he's just had some eye surgery. He just had LASIK. But he said he'll be practicing soon and coming back. That's really exciting. If Hero can get back in shape. The thing is, Hero has been one of the very best. Fallen off because he disappeared for a while and then come back and compete at a very high level again. So I actually think Hero could get back into it. The only thing, so Hero apparently was able to finish his military a bit early because he had banked up holidays that he couldn't use. So I'm not sure if that's the same for Gumiho, or if we have to wait a little bit longer for Gumiho, or what the case is there, you know? Is Classic coming back? Classic will be coming back a little while later. I think Classic's in like 2 or 3 months. I think it's August he gets released. So yeah, they're coming back, guys. If Classic and Hero get back to like a high level, that's really what we need. We need Classic and Hero to like fill the roles that Zest and Stats are gonna leave. You know? We really, really need them. And then we can have like Zound Trap, Classic and Hero. Top Korean Protoss plays would be so nice. Because right now it's terrifying, because you actually have Trap Zound and, well, Patience? You know, like, there's just not a lot of people there. There's just not a lot of people there. Hey, anyone know when the Open Cups start having a higher prize pool? Is that today already? Oh shit, yeah, it's today already. Oh, that's crazy. That's pretty cool. I want to see a series I might cast from that. Maybe that's what we'll lead with tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of a... I wonder if the players start... If the lineups of the ESL Open Cup start improving, we might start going back to casting Korea and stuff, you know? Makes you think what happens to Korean Zergs once Rogue, Solar, and Dark leave. Yeah, I mean... The only healthy race in StarCraft 2 in Korea is Terran, I feel like. Yeah, it's rough, man. We have just been slowly losing the top-end players over time. I don't think, I don't know when those three have to go. I think Solo's one of the younger players. Maybe not anymore, though. That's the thing, right? Like, I can say he's one of these younger players, but he's 25, so you don't have to go for, like, until you're 28, 27/28. Dog's 25 as well, and I feel like Rogue's the same, so we should at least have, like, at least 2 more years of Rogue and... Oh, Rogue's 27, so Rogue actually is due to go next year, maybe. But Dark and Solo at least will be around a little while longer, so that's cool. Don't think Rogue's going to the military because of some medical issues? I heard that about Zest at one point. Honestly, maybe. I feel like I've heard this like for a couple of players, and then it's very hard to keep track of what the actual case is, you know. What the actual situation is. But yeah, it doesn't. We haven't heard anything about Rogue yet, right? So will Sue come back? Probably. Rogue's the same age as TY. Yes, but TY didn't have to go to the military. TY only had to go... TY chose to go to the military instead of waiting until next year because I believe what happened was TY got offered a place in the police force? Or he got offered a better position. I don't want to say exactly. Please don't take it for like word for word. But he got offered a better position. I believe he got offered like a position within the police instead of something else. And so he decided to take that because that offer might not be there next year. And you'd rather do that. So that's why TY is going. TY is going like sooner than expected, you know. Marines come in, gonna grab an Overlord. A couple creep tumors starting to go down as well. Queen at the front taking some damage. Lings are gonna start running on in, and this drop of time is gonna be deflected up in toward the main base. Nice little position here, really trying to make the most of this. The Queen's getting quite adventurous off of creep there as well. Not gonna be super crazy though. Spire coming down from Armani. You open with that carapace upgrade. Typically you do that when your opponent is gonna open with a heavy marine presence on the map. Makes a lot of sense, of course. You get into that heavy marine counter. Carapace just because obviously the marines are firing quickly, they're firing at you a lot, so the carapace really protects you from that a lot of the time. And then into the Spire. Just moving into that one. And again, away we go. Medivacs and Marines around that left-hand side. A couple more Medivacs are going to come boosting up. Zerglin already gets taken down. Just going to be seeing the Marines going to stem left and going to intercept these few banelings. Again, very important map right now for Armani. If you win this, you keep your team alive, and you give TY a chance to take us to the ace match, or you lose this, and TY's games just don't even matter from the start, which would be really kind of brutal. So no pressure on Armani, but kind of all the pressure on your shoulders right now in this series. Marines and tanks moving forward. Tanks just continue to set up. We are going to go for a big push toward the upper left-hand side here. Some Marines getting in and getting a lot done. A little bit of tank fire, going to deflect the Queens around off to the side. Now we are going to commit in towards this hatchery. So hatchery taking quite a few shots to begin with here. And he's probably going to get a kill on this. I mean, 10 SCVs go down to the counterattack. The counterattack, which is now not doing anything additional. So it's not really having any further success. And obviously losing the 4th base as a Zerg is pretty brutal. He is building a new one as this single siege tank kind of gets left here. This counterattack will continue in again. Felt as though that wasn't as defensively set up as time could have been. Still has a good amount of units on this side, but of course it's a real juggling act of making sure you keep that decent amount of units here and you keep the right amount defending. He's going to go towards that 3rd base now. Have to deal with this. Yeah, this is where it gets troublesome, right? You have to make sure you're paying attention on both sides. He will win out this fight well enough to apparently at least force the units back. The units won't be able to force him to lift up and go running. So there's something to be said about that at least. Let's come back around to the top side of the map. Continue to push around the right here. I mean, the Mutas have never been aggressive, which I think is always a good sign for the Terran player. You're doing something right if the Mutas don't get a chance to come across the map aggressively, trying to push into you, etc. Generally, something is going pretty well in that regard then, so say so far that part of this is looking pretty decent. Marines really do want to try and take down that 4th base again. Counterattack once more. I mean, this 3rd base is just barren. A bunker and a few Marines would go a long way just to stop the Lings from running in, you know? Yeah, we don't quite see that. Here comes this Ling-Bane Muta force going to start running on through here. Muta's taking quite a bit of damage. Marines do split back, staying out of trouble for the most part. A decent job of staying out of trouble as well. Ling's going to go jump on a few more of these SCVs. I think this Banelin's going to be in a bit of trouble as well as we get up on top of this hatchery. Again, it's the 3rd base counterattacks that's the only thing that's really kind of keeping time, like, uh-oh sort of thing, you know? That's going to be seeing those few Marines continue to fire. The additional Zerglings continue to go down as well. Tanks are still sieging up and pressing up toward the top side as Ling-Bane Muta comes flying on through. These Banes come crashing in. The Marines will split backwards. And those Mutas are going to turn it back around again. Here comes the Army of Time back along the left-hand side. Banelings are going to come rolling through. They're going to hit this mineral line, or at least try to. There's Missile Turret taking some hits. Now here come the other round of Marines continuing their way over as they push on into this. The Lings and the Banes pulling back just slightly. Time keeping the pressure up and doing all the right things. Again, without a 4th base here, Armani's not in the best position. He's now going to resort to pretty much a full-on Ling Muta counterattack. If there's just any amount of Marines at home, this just doesn't do anything. Fortunately, there's just not enough Marines at home. And Time has to make a decision as to how he wants to approach this. The thing is, it also means there's not going to be anything on this side of the map, so both sides of this should take a lot of damage. Time is taking a lot of eco damage now, and maybe Armani can pull these units back and bring them back home soon enough to actually make a difference. You can see some Banes finishing up here. Time obviously wants to start getting some actual drone kills. It's all well and good being like, okay, well, you're out of position. Those units are on the way back, so now is the time to get rid of this 3rd base and to get something done over there. These Lings are going to start coming through. The 3rd hatchery is extremely low. If that doesn't go down, it would be such a shame. One Baneling connects, gets a lot of these Marines low as they continue to fight against the Zerglings. Time is gonna get cleaned up. He's got some reinforcements trying to trail out, but he doesn't have a 3rd base anymore. And Time has absolutely lost his advantage in this situation. He just didn't go aggressively enough. Killing the 4th base doesn't matter if you lose your own 3rd. But he just didn't quite have enough there. And even if he gets the 3rd on the end of that, and he keeps his units at home and plays defensively, it can So it's some kind of a win streak, whether it's 2 games. It just seems inconsistent, because sometimes I've checked someone and they're not even on a win streak and they have it, you know? So, yeah. Read it at your own risk. Try and make sense of it at your own, at the cost of your own sanity. Bottom right-hand side will be the Afreeca Freecs TUI. I'm kind of sad every time I cast him. It's like, feels as though this might be the last time, you know? Like, this just might be it. I might never cast TY again after this. Let's hope we get some fun games out of him as he takes on Solo here today. In this best of 2, TY must go 2-0 if he wants to save his team and take them to an ace match. So he has there's only really one good result here for TY. He cannot afford to drop the map, and against someone as tricky as Solo, that is difficult. You know, Solar is not the kind of player, even if you're a favorite against Solar, I think Solar is always a pretty good bid to kind of win a map, you know, because he can throw in some different styles, he can throw in some aggression and stuff like that. It's, I always think it's very, he's just dangerous, like, he doesn't let you play your game a lot of the time, and that's why it gets dangerous just trying to find a 2-0. But do you see, this is going to be Proxy 3 racks. Solar's already opening pool first, to talk about being prepared for the opponent. Solar could not be better prepared right now for this incoming aggression. The Overlord comes flying, zooming through the bottom side of the map here. Just going to see the Lings coming up, a couple of racks on the way. All of that just kind of coming through for the moment. Once again, we get this up and ready to begin. SCVs and Marines going to start making their way through. They're going to find the first couple of Zerglings here already. Ling's going to come around this bottom side and try and flank around for the reinforcements. Spike roll on the way from Solar. And let's see how he does to continue defending this. This was 3 racks, so very aggressive out of TY. Is Spine on the high ground. 3 Marines already here, so Solar will not do much with the Lings out on the map just yet. These 3 Marines are going to find an Overlord as well. That's really bad for Solar. That's a heavy supply block that you can't really afford usually in this situation, so that's actually very costly. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's something a little crazy going to start happening here. Maybe so. Maybe so. Very possible, isn't it? It definitely seems like a pretty decent possibility. Alright, we're just going to be moving around. More Marines setting up. I mean, at this stage, you're going to start an expansion as TY, apparently. So, you're going to start expanding. Moving forward a little bit. Marines are going to be able to take down that Overlord. So, Overlord will go down. Here come the SCVs. The CC was just a fake out, trying to fake out the idea of not doing this SCV pull, not going all in against this or anything. So here we go, Marines starting to move on forward, and we move, and Solar's preparation, additional spines on the way, Queens are there, Lings are here, Ling speed's about to be done too. This does not seem like something you break as TY, but let's see. I mean, the Marine count's pretty decent. The additional spines are really going to be the biggest issue. Ling's trying to get on top of this. The Marine count's slowly going down. The Queens are staying somewhat healthy, a couple of them at least. Drones started pulling as well. More and more Lings on the way. Those Marines taking some additional damage, being pushed back slightly. That's going to be GG from TY. He's not going to break on through, and Solar is going to secure the series for Kaizi Gaming. Afreeca Freecs will not come out with the win today, and Solar we'll wrap this up. Now, we will still play map number 6, but it does mean the result of the series is already secured and determined, basically. Beckett Industries is going to be the map pick of TY. Let's see what he does, if there's anything he wants to do here. And this is really just fighting for a little bit of map score. It does mean Kaizi Gaming are going to break the, I don't really want to call it like the 4th place curse, but they have been stuck around 4th place in this league for weeks. And finally going to be able to move up to 3rd place in the league, in a position to chase down Dragon Phoenix Gaming and Team NV. You know, Kaizi have to play Alpha X, they have to play Liquid, and then they have to play DPG last week. Those are winnable matches for Kaizi. Very winnable matches, and if they can pull out some wins, well, we'll be looking good, as it looks as though we're just going to proxy it up once again here as TY. I was going to see the racks coming down, and this time it is at least a hatchery first out of Solar. As he sends this Overlord down the right, he's going to catch a glimpse of this if he doesn't change the direction. Oh my god. Solar, how do you... I mean, how is that actually hidden? That's incredible that they don't get seen there. That must literally be the... I mean, that's just insane. That's genuinely kind of crazy. I just don't know how. Like, it's almost like Solar's Overlords just have -1 vision when barracks are in range. Like, I just don't know. How is that not visible? Just the 2 racks this time, but obviously unscouted against no pool first. Again, all these little things look much better for TY than the last time, at least, so maybe we will get something out of this. You can see these drones pulling down, just chasing in those few Marines. Six drones going down as you have the Lings now showing up, but at least Solar's pushed this back. Lost you 6 drones, but now this doesn't really go anywhere further, right? Like, now you kind of had to stop at least with this attack, so a couple more Lings are just going to go nibbling there. One more Marine going down. Yeah, decent drone pull against this. The bunker goes up, but nothing to put in it, right? So, I just salvage that. Factory's on the way up, and Solar comes out of this. I mean, TY is in an okay-ish spot. Starts a command center, kind of equal on workers. Yeah, like I say, it looks decent, just nothing, nothing too wild. Actually going to drop down a reactor. So again, that started up as the starport will come down to the side. A couple of other racks are going to come on through here as well. Just getting set up then as we move along. Just going to be seeing TY coming back home. And see a little bit of a Hellion drop. Very popular follow-up to the 2 racks nowadays, this Hellion drop, something we see a lot of the time. And then drop into this main base then. Solar's well prepared. Queen, few Lings just around. Doesn't seem as though there'll be anything which will be particularly crazy here. Just going to see those Lings chasing. Those Queens get here as well. Just going to see the medevac nearly going down. Still just about alive. That Hellion is going to get chased all the way around. So Hellions are dropping. That medevac very low HP. And that engineering bay is also finishing up back at home. Just not much damage done, as Solo's just going to continue. I mean, look at the worker difference. 18, 19 workers in the lead. That's kind of a ridiculous difference between them right now. Kinda crazy. He's going to unload in this main base. Overlord taking a bit of damage. You're going to stem on forward and just going to go in after some of these drones and roaches. Supply army coming through. These few Zerglings kind of running at that. It's going to be deflected once again. Everything that TY is trying at the moment is just not going his way. Just a little bit too far behind at the end of the day, I think. Was the proxy even worth it? No. I mean, in this case, absolutely not. He just didn't do enough with it. At the end of the day, you need to be in a way better position. I mean, anytime you're in the mid-game of TVZ and you're 22 workers down and any part of your aggression is just not doing anything, you've done something wrong earlier, right? So, yeah. So I was just going to hit a big 1-1 roach timing. And it's going to be... I'm going to say it's going to be very difficult to defend. It might be okay with the fact that this is a bit of a choked up map. It's difficult to push into certain bases on this map, so maybe that aspect of this can save TY a little bit. In general, I would kind of expect this 1-1 roach time to just truly obliterate him with the advantage that Solar has. Coming back around this top side here, medevac's going to unload, so I'll try to in the main base, but there's units already there. Gonna unload, and again, additional racks coming through, the third CC coming up in position. Another drop of TY, unable to really get much done as that Roach Ravager will come through here. You can see there's few Marines coming in from the top left-hand side, coming all the way through, and a couple of those Ravagers dropping. That's Novus here as well. I mean, it's not a bad start to this. Now you're going to try and drop into the main again, still deflected by the Queens. Solar is seconds away from those upgrades being done, and that should be when he pulls the trigger to go across the map and try and make something happen himself here. As these Marines continue through, a couple of creep teamers going down. We're just kind of just getting caught at the moment is definitely an issue, and again, Solar's now going to start Burrow, Tunnel, Close, Hydrogen, and an Infestation Pit. That I don't really like as much. It feels like he's just going to transition through the lurkers and stuff, but it feels like he doesn't even try to make use of his roaches. I mean, look at that third base. It's barren. I know we can't see it, but if you look at the minimap, there's nothing on that third. You could at least move over there and make a push. There's one siege tank out, man. Like, you have an army that is so good, you know, at putting the pressure in right now, and you're just not going for it. Feels like that's a bit of a mistake, as, I mean, these drops are now punishing you, and this is why if you're not going to take advantage of that roach style, it generally isn't so good for you, because drop play is very effective against roaches, and so far it's been extremely effective here against Solar. So, yeah, not liking the way that Solar's playing this out in the last few months. Didn't hate the idea of how he was setting up or going towards roaches or anything like that. Just more the follow-up here is really a bit of a killer for him. Marines going through, those roaches getting chased away again. A few Marines on the top side getting pushed back. And continue to stem up this right-hand side. Creep team is all going down with Roachling being chased out of there as well. These roaches going to get deflected. And that's why the, waiting on this burrow play maybe necessarily wasn't going to do much. And of course, we're going to get into lurkers, but the reason that this style is not so hot when you go into lurkers off Roach Ravage is because your opponent's already building up a very good siege tank count. And so even when you first get the lurkers and they don't have their upgrades, siege tank pushes and timings, they can actually really just obliterate you because you don't have a good way to counter it. Especially once they get in position, it's going to be pretty much impossible to knock them off of that location. So, yeah, it definitely does become a problem, for sure. Now just going to be seeing the bio still simming forward. Roach Ravager coming in from the right-hand side. A couple of bios going down. Oof, going to hit a medevac there as the rest of this bio army still chasing through. Two more bios. Bio still trying to get in. Lurkers are in position to turn those units around as well, though. And will do that. First of bios going down. Just going to be seeing tanks getting cleaned up pretty much immediately. So tanks already dropping here. Rest of this bio army from TY going to make its way back around the top. Bug's going to burrow up again. More roaches and ravagers joining up over on this side. And as the medevac drop from TY, going to make a big boost into this main base, trying to make something happen. Vipers are here. Parasite bombs the medevac should limit how many of them can get out alive, especially if the Queens just put a damage on a few of them. Can the Marines trade well enough in this main base? I mean, obviously horrible position for the roaches and ravagers running up this ramp into the concave. The medevacs, a few of them do survive and they do fly out to this low ground. Lurkers are trying to clean up, a few lings to support them. I mean, some of the lurkers going down. Can't believe how low HP some of those medevacs are. TY is going to GG out behind this. Just doesn't have enough.